have In Bloom jump really well and then hook out to the right slightly, and then that gap opens up for Zipping Columbus to take. So that's why I don't mind his setup here with a couple of bites at the cherry, so to speak. Things might go slightly wrong in the run, but if he ends up landing in that rail spot, I think he can keep coming, and we've seen tonight the rail's important. And another added factor in this race is number 4, Show Me Style, who's another one he'll want to hook out. He won't be comfortable until he gets out to about where Magpie Hector was in that previous race. So does he create a bit of chaos and give Zipping Columbus a bit of that slight buffer? But could that also advantage In Bloom as well? That's what we're betting on here, so to speak. But yeah, In Bloom, I just couldn't get her as short as what she is in the market off this back to 600 tonight. I
thought Show Me Style was a good run. First up for Grant Walker at the Meadows. Once wide. Super. But really, if he can get to the crown of the track at looking for 600, got some fast wins. You only have to go back to a 34.09 at Sandown over the 5.95 to know it's got enough ability to warrant be competitive here. I've got it, somewhat in the market, and I think it's quite a big price. So looking for a Rafi to throw in, I think Show Me Style can run a cheeky race at a big quote.
Who is $18, will take a breath, and Sky One is about to barge in. Thanks, Tim. And this race, of course, will be followed by the Group 1 Maturity Classic, which, of course, is the reason why we're here tonight. We're looking forward to that. But in the meantime, we see In Bloom in this one jump as favourite from box 1. Nath, we're normally seeing her over 700 metres, so she drops back here. But safe to say, she's still probably going to go forward early.
Yeah, I think so. I think she can nearly lead here, and she'll want to get to the middle part of the track. So she'll be looking to begin and funnel that rivals up on the corner bend. If she can do that, get some clean air and get rolling. She's a momentum sort of greyhound. She might be hard to catch with that residual fitness. 3 Zipping Columbus might be able to get forward and get underneath her in the early stages. That's what that'll be looking to do. First up over 600. 2 West Rock Casey looks a danger on its New South Wales form, and 4 Show Me Style, 1 for the Roughies. 1, 3, 2, 4.
All right, the red for Nathan Rooney, and Michael Ty, you're with number 3, Zipping Columbus.
Yeah, I think he's been looking for this distance range here. If he doesn't beat out In Bloom, I'm hoping he finds the rail or that added bonus. Maybe he begins a bit better than I hope here with Show Me Style looking to go to the right. So there's going to be some gaps presented here for Zipping Columbus. He's just got to be good enough to take him, and I hope he is. So it's 3, 5, 8 and 1 my numbers here.
All right, one more to go until the maturity. This is it. In Bloom, the start favourite. Here's James for the 7th.
Favourite. And they are loading up. Zipping Columbus, he's the second elect at 290. I think he's got the best mid-race speed of the race. The end of 600 is going to be a big query for him based on his Isolink starter over 500 metres, but he's a good chance of finding the lead mid-race as they get set. All in now, race number 7. Green light on, favourite in red. That's In Bloom. Set. Away and racing, and In Bloom fired away from the inside, straight through to the lead, settling down over Shimmer Blush, and Show Me Style's going to kick up. There's the flat spot of In Bloom. Nangar Charm charges around the outside, takes the lead. Show Me Style got the second, just wants to lay up the track. Zipping Columbus now starting to make some ground as they come after the leader. They're 2 or 3 to Poor Quinby, then Shimmer Blush, now well back West Rock Casey, and back at the end of the field, Poor Danny and In Bloom last. So Zipping Columbus serves it up to Nangar Charm, a length away. Show Me Style starting to flash at them. It's still Nangar Charm. Now Zipping Columbus nudges up, takes the lead and won it. He was good. Zipping Columbus got there and neck Nangar Charm, and third Show Me Style. Then Shimmer Blush just 4 ahead of West Rock Casey from In Bloom, Poor Quinby and Poor Danny. It was keenly contested, 34 and 83 the time.
Zipping Columbus wins. He edges out Nangar Charm in that last few bounds, and Duck, it looked a bit dicey early on. He didn't really have that clear room of which you wanted, but he just got that hook underneath Show Me Style as they went through the pen, and that proved to be the opening of the door of which he needed to go on and win the race.
Yeah, it was a disastrous start there with the 2 driving him mad, and I pretty much thought it was confetti here, but then the gaps sort of started opening. A couple of these dogs tonight, the gaps closed on them, but this one just kept opening, and it was probably the right dog out in front too for Zipping Columbus to have that chance to reel it in, because Nangar Charm didn't exactly hit the line that well last week in a Maturity Classic heat over the 525. So I knew he was going to be vulnerable late, but even then Zipping Columbus had to go around the outside. I'd prefer to see him hugging the rail. So for him to hook to the outside and have that dog underneath him late and still stick the neck out and win. It's one of those races where there was enough trouble throughout that I'm not taking too much notice of the time. But the Lanigans have done a great job with this dog. They've travelled him everywhere in these derby-type races, and he's been slowly building up to this middle distance range. And I said 34.79 doesn't tell the tale of that tonight. He was a gutsy win.
Indeed he was, and it rolls Nangar Charm, and Show Me Style runs in the third, and Shimmer Blush into fourth, 34.79. You reckon we'll see more of him over this distance?
Yeah, I think so. It's just a matter of what's on the calendar in terms of these middle distance races over the next few months. So they just keep picking off these city Saturday night normal meetings here, 600-metre race here and there, or is he good enough to step him back for the Nationals and throw him in and see how he goes? But he's versatile enough. Like I said, they just travelled a lot with him with these derby-type races at Angle Park and Wentworth Park, and he's somehow only had 30 starts. It just feels like he's been around a lot longer than that, and he hasn't had the best of luck in races. He saw the maturity last week. He had no luck wherever he went, but he used box 1-2 starts back to perfection, and it was a $1.30 winner holding off Wizard Watson. So he's just got that ability. He just needs that luck, and I did think I was disappointed. Another one where we're having a crack at Gretchy here for being accurate in eighth, because I was hoping he'd open up a lot longer than what he did, but he was pretty well found in the market, rock solid late, and got the job done.
We only have to go through his form. He was obviously Bernardo's Queen last week, but there's wrongly accused Dustin, He's a Pearl, Paul Winder in his form recently, and he's been more than competitive, if not winning, being placed. So he had no right to win after what happened in the first 100 metres. First up over 600. Still a question mark on how well he ran 600, and we're hoping he'd get a clean run through the early stages, and he got everything but that, but was able to stick to the paint like glue and take the cheap seats and then come off the leaders' heels and be too strong late. Show Me Style was most probably one for provincial followers, I reckon. If you see him in a 6-dog race here on a Wednesday night or something like that, I think Grant Walker's got him going quite well.
Maybe back to the 520 at Sale.
Something where he can draw off the track and get left alone and make one run. His 2 runs for the new kennel have been full of merit, and we know last campaign he put some fast wins on the board when he got things his own way. So maybe one that went around at a big price tonight you could follow, and something a fraction easier moving forward, Jace.
And by Al Grand Senor, who's a past winner of the Maturity Duck and will probably go down as one of the all-time greats of the sport.
Oh, absolutely. The way he went bang and bang in the Melbourne Cup heat and final the year he won it was just astounding. But that race there was one where, in Bloom, we touched on Deadly Cool earlier and maybe not being necessarily suited to the red, and we got that wrong the way it's shaped. But that was one in Bloom that we were worried, if you're on her, that she's not necessarily suited to the inside, and that just seemed to be her undoing there.
Yeah, well, she got out to where she needed to be, but then halfway down the straight they collared her, and that's what she didn't want. So she began well, pushed up the track, but then just